What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? Welcome back to another episode of Nuggets Today presented by FanArch. My name is Tom Leuthner, and obviously, like I said yesterday, I do want to cover some of the Summer League stuff, and I also want to cover some other things that I've noticed within the community and what's happening in Denver. So the first thing I want to cover is Spencer Jones. Now, I know we've been talking about Spencer Jones for, a few weeks now, realistically, and he seems like a decent player. He's on Denver's two-way. He got some minutes last year in the NBA, but I like what I see from him throughout the entire summer league so far. I would like to see one thing from him, and that is becoming more of a shooter. Now, I think that he would fit what Denver's trying to build now, which is a core around Jokic, but I think that he needs to become a better three-point shooter because Jokic needs great three-point shooters around him. Now, yesterday, he actually shot, 2 days ago now, he actually shot 50% from the three-point line, which is what we've been waiting to see from him. He went 3 for 6 from three, had 6 rebounds, had 19 points, shot 8 for 12 from the field, played 27 minutes. So I know it's summer league and people think that these things don't matter, but this is where people are fighting for not only a roster spot, but at least a two-way contract to work their way up to a roster spot. Not long ago, Nikola Jokic was a second-round pick playing in the summer league, and now he's the best player in the world. So I think that what Spencer Jones is doing is actually pretty impressive to me, strictly because, like I said, he earned his two-way contract. He got minutes last year, and I think right now, it's a little speculation about him fighting for a roster spot potentially, and that's something I will get into in a little while. But like I said, I think that his game has looked way more versatile than what we've seen. He's able to play defense. I think yesterday was a real test, 2 days ago was a real test against NBA players. We saw Terrence Shannon Jr., who dominated, and Rob Dillingham. So he actually played well against legitimate NBA players. Now, the next topic I want to get into is covering two players that are officially Denver Nuggets now. Everything is finally official. The Jonas news was actually confirmed earlier today. So Jonas is officially on contract with Denver. Who knows what happens now with that whole Greece situation, if Denver's going to buy him out or not. Al Horford, at the time of this recording, is still on the market. So let's see what happens. But Cam Johnson and Tim Hardway Jr. seem to love the Denver organization already, and I think it is a massive W in Denver's favor. I watched the podcast with both of them and listened to what they had to say, and my immediate thought and the way I broke it down was that everything that they were speaking about was them saying we rather than Denver. So I know it's not massive for some people, but in my mind, the first thing I thought about was Cam Johnson and Tim Hardway saying last year, looking at what happened in the playoffs, we were a few pieces away. We were a few games away. And they weren't even on the roster yet. Instead of Denver was a game away and now they added us, it was we are a couple games away. We are doing this. They are both in Vegas yesterday, watching the second Summer League game, with just about everybody on the roster, except for Jokic. Aaron Gordon, I don't think was there, but the entire bench, I believe, was there. Just about the entire bench. Obviously, Deron Holmes and Hunter Tyson are playing, and that's what I'm going to get into in a second. But I think that, like we've covered, Cam Johnson and Tim Hardway are great players. I actually watched a video from a year ago that I haven't seen until today, and that is Cam Johnson breaking down J.J. Redick's jump shot. So I think that's super impressive, the fact that he was breaking it down and how high his basketball IQ really is. Now, I know people think that, obviously MPJ was a massive player for Denver. Guy was a great shooter, averaged more rebounds and more points, shot better percentage. But Cam Johnson's basketball IQ is simply amazing. If you really listen to what he has to say on a day-to-day basis, whenever somebody interviews him, whenever they talk about basketball, he really knows what to say. Now, I also think that how happy both of them are to really play for Denver. Tim Hardway breaking down what it was like playing in Detroit and how he made a difference and how that could fit around Jokic. I think these are two players whose archetypes fit Jokic to the max, realistically. And I think that it gives Denver the leeway to run different kinds of rotations, not only offensively, but now defensively, which is something they didn't have the luxury of doing last year. So, like I said, these are two guys who I think that are amazing fits for Denver, and I love the support that they're showing for the team throughout the Summer League right now and what they have to say about the roster, about Jokic, about Jamal Murray, about the culture in Denver, and above and beyond from that. So, like I said, two massive upgrades for the Denver bench and the Denver starting five, realistically. Now, I just brought up Hunter Tyson. Let's talk about it for a second. in my mind, I look at what Denver's doing in the Summer League and what's happening right now in the roster, and I think that Hunter Tyson may be on the move from Denver, just being let go of, or maybe they try to work out a trade for him. Now, the reason I'm saying that, he's playing okay in Summer League. He had a very good first game. I believe he grabbed 11 boards. Second game, he shot 5 for 14, 2 for 5 from the three-point line, 7 rebounds, 13 points. When I look at an NBA player or an NBA caliber player playing in the G League, I look more like Terrence Shannon, a guy who's tearing up. 8 for 19, 24 points, 3 assists. I know his shooting splits weren't great, but Hunter Tyson doesn't look like a guy who can even tear up a G League game. Now, the reason I said that I think he may be gone is because if you look at who Denver is playing in the G League, or Summer League, sorry, Hunter Tyson's the only guy from the roster last year besides Deron Holmes, who's coming back from an injury, that's playing. Now, Pickett is a guy everybody was skeptical of. Will he be on the roster? Will they move on from him? Are they going to trade him? Well, he's not playing in the Summer League. Zeke Naji, a guy they paid $8 million per year for, he's not playing in the Summer League. So the only players who are playing are two-way guys and a guy rehabbing from injury and Hunter Tyson. So in my mind, I think that Tyson may be on the move, and I also think it's time for Denver to let go. I don't think that he's going to play, and unless they're going to hold on to him for chemistry reasons like they did with Vlaco for the last couple of years or DeAndre Jordan for the last couple of years, so be it. But I don't think that he makes an impact in Denver. I don't think he's been making that big of an impact in the Summer League for a guy who's been on the roster for 2 years. And I don't think that he's worth a roster spot for Denver right now when there's vets out there like Amir Coffey who can come take that spot. Amir Coffey, somebody I've covered. Ben Simmons, who can come take that spot. I know Denver still has a roster spot open, but why not let go of Hunter Tyson? He's not going to contribute anything right now. And worry about getting guys who are going to make a difference in the rotation. Malcolm Brogdon's still out there. You still need a backup primary ball handler if you don't want to play Jalen Pickett. Like I said, Ben Simmons is out there. He can guard the 1 through 5 on defense and still has the IQ to be a point guard. Chris Paul, who people say could be a sneaky pickup, wouldn't mind him as a backup point guard. You could go get Russ back instead of bringing in Hunter Tyson from the Summer League. So I think it may be time for Denver to officially move on from Hunter Tyson. Now, speaking about players who I like and are explosive and can take over Summer League games, this is the first time we saw Donovan Williams play, and I know he only had 3 points. He had 5 rebounds. He's a guard, 1 assist, 1 foul. So not only a points, 13 minutes. That guy has a motor, right? And I'm watching him yesterday, and he immediately reminded me of Jameer Young, who was a guy that I would have loved Denver to bring in last year after the Summer League. Super freak athlete, was able to get to the paint, get to his, what the shot that he wanted. Like I said, he only shot 1 for 4, only had 13 minutes. But I am interested to see if he can come in and continue to make a difference and maybe land a two-way, because Tamar Bates, who's a guy who got a two-way shot, 0 for 7 from the three-point line yesterday. Curtis Jones played all right, actually, not terrible. 10 points, shot 2 for 4 from the three-point line. He's supposed to be a sniper, so who knows? I think that Donovan Williams, though, could be a guy who comes in, like I said, change of pace guard, gets the ball, runs in transition, had an insane Euro step. I loved it. Guy got to the bucket, easily brought the ball over defenders, and I believe he got fouled a few times, got into the rack. And like I said, that guy has a motor. He was constantly running, getting the ball and going, and I love to see that from a guard, especially if Denver's searching for somebody they want to give a two-way to potentially be on the roster. So I know we're a little light there on topics from the Summer League. There wasn't too much to talk about. I am going to talk about Deron Holmes in the next episode, I believe. So I'm going to write out my script, but I think Deron Holmes will be in that conversation. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. We are just under 1,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.